And we're rolling. Hopefully we won't have any technical issues this time round compared to the first time we bloody did it.
I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. So, continuation from the podcast that we did. Um, Before I just remind you on where we kind of left off, and just to refresh your memory, because people have been asking about the second part because we kind of left it hanging a little bit, obviously due to technical issues. But the feedback already so far from the first half of the podcast that we did um, is immensely crazy, but positive in a way, because people are reaching out, because you touched on subjects that relating to men, and how we need to show up for ourselves and speak up when we're kind of struggling. So your story, a lot of people can relate to your story because they've also been through this shit themselves. So it's been received well, and I would like us to just definitely carry on where we left off. So just to refresh your mind from where we did leave, we left it. We were talking about uh, men needing to control their emotions, uh, and how they mask their emotions using drink, drugs, anger. Basically, they're masking their emotions. They're masking emotions that they can't sit with. We also talked about healing men to be able to heal our women, so we heal ourselves. We reflected as well on past relationships and about how to listening to your body, recognizing the need for self-improvement and the challenges we have in trying to love ourselves, finding passion, and be the change you want to see. So I've kind of condensed everything into just a small summary of what we missed out from the first podcast. What's your thoughts? What's on your mind,
All the stuff we
Sean?
missed out.
That is all the stuff that we missed out. We did touch.
That's the good stuff.
I know it's the good stuff. I was
Oh
also
my
thinking to
God.
myself, yeah. So when I was editing the video, I realized like 40 minutes in, when the conversation did start to get like juicy and fruitful. Yeah, I didn't realize that I wasn't catching your sound in your video.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff, and people want to hear it from you, Sean.
Right. So where do we want to start? What do we want to start with? You told me, and like I'll just talk.
Right off, right where we left off, talking about men needing to control. You talked basically about how men need to learn how to control their emotions.
Yeah, well, I'll just speak of myself. Like I
Mm,
grew up not knowing this until like I went through this process, but I grew up like very angry. Aggression was my go-to to what I now know to mask the fear and the insecurities of what I had. So because like men, we because we get taught not to show our emotions and it's not to be vulnerable, and so we're like I didn't know no one knew how to express this. So I had all these fears and insecurities. I'm like I was fearful of like bullies, for instance. So my way of dealing with that and dealing with conflict was to put this extra aggressive persona mask on, so no one would approach me in that manner, which wasn't healthy at all. And it gives you a persona that isn't you, and you don't want to be. It's the same with people that mask with like drink or drugs. It's all just creating a mask for you not to show the vulnerability of the emotions that you've got, and because you don't understand them and you think nobody's going to listen and you're not going to be understanding if you talk about them. So this is kind of the process I went through. And it was like, man, like that isn't me. That's not who I am. Like that was just a protection. It's just the ego, my ego, trying to protect me from more pain, from my upbringing and the environment I was in, and trying to fit in. And when I'm not here to fit in, I'm here to stand out as me, like as the unique individual that I am, and beginning to love that person of who I am, and like really who is Sean, and like it's someone that loves at the essence of everything, someone that loves and just wants to be loved, because we all do want to be loved, and wants to express that in my own way, in my own creative ways, and having the freedom to do that, and not being afraid of the judgment from others that comes with it, because I feel that's why we have all these emotions, because we're afraid. We're afraid someone's going to judge us, someone's going to say this, someone's going to make us feel this way. This is why I say about controlling your emotions, because if you know you have accountability and control over your emotions, whatever comes your way from somebody else when you're just being you, you know you can deal with it. It's like, it doesn't matter if they make you feel a certain way, because if they do, it's like, okay, let me sit with this a minute. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling a bit threatened or insecure in this moment when someone's doing this? And it's usually because something's happened before. So you can pinpoint it to that, and it's like, okay, that's from that. It's not actually me. It's not about me. It's about a situation that's arisen in my life before. So I don't need to react to this person in a certain way other than myself. And by controlling that and the response, and by doing that, you're then subconsciously, consciously teaching this other person, oh, because this other person's hurt. That's why they might be showing up in a certain way. So you react and respond in a certain way, what they're used to. So if you get to control your emotions and react within your truth or your authentic, genuine self, that shows that one person unconsciously that's going to be like, I've never seen this before. Well, how did that happen? Like, why did I react like that? And then they start asking the questions. And that's why I say it's super important, particularly for men, to open up to each other about things like this, because we've been taught to mask emotion and vulnerability and not show up as ourselves, and we've got to have this kind of pressure to carry all this weight when we don't. Like, we can talk, we can control our emotions by sitting with our emotions, not ignoring them, because when we ignore them, that's what we become. We become aggressive, we become resentful, we become turn to drink, to drugs, to putting people down, to judgment, to all these other things, negative things, because we don't sit with the emotion. We've got to learn to sit with it.
So basically, when you feel yourself getting angry, and is that like a cue or a signal to that your body's telling you that there's something that you need to deal with?
Yeah. It's like, if I feel like I don't tend to get angry nowadays, but I'll get frustrated or agitated sometimes. So I'm like, okay, it might be a certain situation or a conversation or something someone's doing. I'll be like, this is agitating me and frustrating me. Why? Why is it? Then I'll tap into myself and, is this something I've come across before and it's made me feel a certain way while I wasn't heard and seen? Or is it something that goes against the values and ethics and integrity of who I am? Does it match? Is that why I'm getting frustrated? Just little things like, just ask questions. Like, I always look at other people, then I'll look at the other person's perspective of what they're trying to, what's coming with this conversation or instance, so I can understand and get the correct answer that's for me, that's for the truth of what I'm actually feeling. Not, it's because what we within that moment, a lot of the time, straight away, the emotion isn't our actual feeling. It's a reaction. So we have to sit with this a minute and figure out what's our actual truth in this moment.
It can be a bit hard because it's not a natural response to, say, for example, you feel emotional or something has triggered you to get an emotional response. It's not really a normal reaction to get this sort of feeling come up and then you're like, oh, let me just sit down, because naturally you just want to, outburst and react in that moment because the emotions are heightened. So it does take a level of self-awareness really to be able to, and practice over time, to recognize it and be aware of these things or these emotions when they come up, and you can learn to control it rather than react.
Yeah, but like you said, but who said it's not natural?
Well,
That's just what we've
it's
learned. It's not natural.
yeah, it's a well, it's not natural. It's more like a habit that's been learned over time and it's been ingrained. So it's like your normal response. So to break out of that normal habit, normal routine, takes that self-awareness, and instead of responding the way you did previously.
Yeah, so
And
it does,
then
like say, but that's what I'm saying. People, I think they think this is normal,
mm,
but it isn't. That's the point. It's like you're saying that stuff we've learned. We've learned that behavior. So now we do have to be self-aware and learn a different behavior, what becomes our new normal. It's like
mm,
people really seem to think that conflict, disagreement, and all these negative situations is normal. Well, no, it's not. It's not a normal way of communicating healthily with people and getting the best out of the situation that you're in. We need to learn now, and that's what the whole point of healing is, and growth and evolving and coming together, is to learn that that's not the way. Like there's a healthier way, and it starts with us having that self-awareness within us to pause before we say things sometimes, um, so we get the best outcome of what we're trying to do. And that's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I went on this journey, because I want to get the best out of myself. And by doing that, I can get the best out of other people and give them the best of me. And I know that in time, I will get that received back.
yeah, a lot. You've just reminded me as well of other people that reached out to me, men in particular, um, saying that you're so right, that we need to be able to talk to each other more, open up, be vulnerable with each other, rather than having that front, um, I am hard, I can do it. You know what I mean? When really you're struggling.
Yeah.
So yeah, off the back of that podcast as well, the first one that we did, um, I did mention about starting a group for particularly men, because personally have a lot of men reaching out to me already, that need support, and it's also having somebody that can listen to them without being judgmental, because again, like you said before, it's the fear that stops people from opening up and being vulnerable, because we have to be vulnerable to be able to grow as well. You have to, instead of like masking it and pretending that I can cope, I can deal with it, but really and truly, if you're struggling, man, you're struggling, you know. So I'm happy to open up this space for men, which we will talk about how we're gonna do this, once a week, once a month for men
Yeah, I think we spoke a bit about
get-togethers.
like, we can do stuff online as well, but like, I think we spoke about it'd be cool to set something up once a month where we get together, men can come, set something up where they can just connect, they can be vulnerable, I can hold space for them, just be
Mm,
open. Like, if there's any frustrations you're carrying, we'll create something where you can release this. Particularly with the weather getting better,
mm,
I think a cool way would be like getting the lakes and the cold water therapy, and we can do some activities which release this tension from our nervous systems that we hold, Everybody, but particularly men, we get to release this frustration together in a healthy way, so it's not projecting onto each other, but then embrace each other with support and brotherhood, which I really feel like I know for sure, like that's something I've been searching for the last 3 or 4 years on this journey, is that soul brotherhood with the men that are on a similar journey. I don't feel like I've really found that yet, because I don't feel many men commit to this path on the level that I have and that you are now.
Yeah, you got me, bro. You got me. You got
Yeah,
me.
so it'd be cool to kind of facilitate that and get more men on this journey, because like I said on the last one, but we're saying we cut it off about, like, it's important for our women that we do, because we create a lot of pain and for them, where they can't show up in their full feminine energy, which is nurturing and is beautiful, and we actually need that to become the best versions of ourselves. Like, we will run for a brick wall and build an empire for the right woman who's in that feminine energy and hasn't got an unhealthy masculine wound. Like, that's and we help heal that wound by us becoming healthy masculine men and healing our wounds. It works too. We need to do that for them so they can step into that and give us that foundation to prosper. And that's super important, and we owe that to them to do that, because they can give us so much and allow them to heal too, because a lot of women are really struggling right now with the pressures of like new society and stuff, and having to be in the masculine and the wounded masculine. We've all got masculine, feminine energy, but too much in a wounded masculine, because we can't hold that space properly by being the person we need to be. Which we've got an innate ability to lead, protect, provide. I know society is a bit different now. It doesn't have to look like the status quo like they tell you, but it's about a union, coming together in union, healthy feminine, healthy masculine, working together as a team, as a partnership. And I believe that starts with us, by healing that within us. That gives them the opportunity then to be safe and held and seen that, I can step into my feminine now, and I can be this person, this woman that I know that I want to be, and I am. And then that's just beautiful. Where you get the best of everything then. And I've seen that process unfold, like start to unfold. So, and it's real, it's legit, and I take a lot of responsibility on that within myself to be that.
Yeah, it's beautiful to hear that. It's also made me think of the fact that a lot of women say that there's no good men out there anymore. But
Lights.
clearly there is. You're a good man. I know I'm a good man, but like you said, it starts with the man to be able to, we need to heal ourselves in order to show up for ourselves and to show up for our women as well.
Yeah. And it's like, we've always been a good man. I've done some stupid shit growing up and through my life, but because of conditioning, wounds, trauma, not understanding emotion, not understanding how to emotionally regulate, not having the self-awareness to do so, because I've not sat and paused and sat with myself and sat with the emotions, or had mentors around me to help me understand what is happening and how I should show up and what's good for me, what my innate ability is from birth, like what's my right as a person, like who I am actually from my intrinsic nature, which is love. I'm here to love, serve, protect, provide, lead as a man, and that's who we are at heart. That's intrinsic in us. We've just got to cultivate that, strip away all the bullshit that's made us, that's hardened us in some way. Use that. Use the process of that is a benefit, is a positive, because it gives us like determination, courage, strength, a will to succeed and overcome things. We don't get that without the difficult moments. So I'm very blessed for them and the way my life has gone, because I don't think I'd be the person I am today without that. And for the first time in my life, I actually love who I am today. Like, I really like the person I am today in life. And I know there'll be a lot of people out there that struggle to say that. And it's not because they don't want to, it's just because they've been through similar stuff. They know deep down, it's like they get knocked down so much. They want to be able to say that, but you've got to really fall in love with this process to confidently sit there and think, do you know what? I'm making it. I'm doing what needs to be done. And I like the person I am and becoming. And just keep going. Like, it doesn't stop there. I'll never stop growing. I'll never stop seeking to learn more about myself, more about life. Try and hold myself accountable to turn up as best I can in each situation. Give myself the grace when I don't, because we ain't perfect. We never will be. Emotions are real. We've still got all the negative emotions. They're the shadows. They're going to come up for the rest of our life. It's how we respond from that when we don't show up as that highest person we can sometimes, and give ourselves that grace and learn and go again.
What do you think makes you not show up as your full potential?
Like, again, it's a lot of fears, and the whole world is designed to suffocate you right now, keep you within a box. It's designed that way, and some might think like I do. I think it's purposely designed that way for the positive too, because I try and look at it now like it is. I can see it's designed this way, but I see it as an opportunity. It's like, I've got this opportunity. There's a system that's designed a certain way to keep me a certain way, but I
Detached.
can use this to break free from it and elevate myself to my full potential. And I see that as an opportunity. How can I use this for me and then to help others? But it's definitely tough. And it creates a lot of fear and lack of confidence in people that they can do it. But you can do it. You've just got to find what drives you, what it actually is you want from life, and be intentional to pursue that. Just constantly pursue it. The enjoyment, like I've said all along, is for me is the pursuit of something, the pursuit of my potential. I'll never reach it because I've set the bar so high in my mind that I'll never reach it. So it keeps me humble and something to pursue in that person, so I can keep going. Time after time, setback after setback, keep going, and enjoy the goodness and the little wins along the way and the growth by having that such pinnacle, like I know that can't be reached, but pursuing it is what's great. It's like, I can keep learning, keep evolving, keep loving, keep changing, keep growing. Like, so in another 5 years, I'll probably be an even different version of myself, and that's the point. Is to keep doing that, keep reinventing, to whatever's in strings it and what you want from life, and find that fulfillment, contentment with the life that you're creating, because we do get to create. That's God's will. Gave us the ability to create. That's what life is. The universe is creation. That's in us. That's innocence, kids, imagination, creativity, to create the life we want for ourselves, but for others. That's what I believe life's about. So keep pursuing that.
So that's your meaning to life, yeah? As we do search for meaning in
Yeah,
life. So seems like you found your meaning. Going on that, whilst we're on this subject, I've actually got a question from a viewer.
Okay.
Yeah, so because we're on the subject, basically the question is, do you believe in God? And what's your thoughts or belief in God?
Wow, that's a bit.
Yeah.
See, I often like I'll be straight. Like I often sometimes when I talk about, because I talk about God a lot, and I put posts on about God, and I know that a lot of people when they see that will think religion, yeah, and they'll
Of
have a certain
course.
perception of what I mean by that, and I sometimes overthink that. I'll be honest. I'm like, I hope they don't think I mean when I shouldn't, because I shouldn't care. But it's like my perception of what God is like. My perception of what God is a higher consciousness energy. Everything is energy, and the higher. It's a creation, and I'm part of that creation. I'm not separate from it. It's just a name. It's like God in religion gives something an identity. The identity here for God is it's a force. It's a presence. It's love. It's I just believe there's a higher source of creation and consciousness that when I physically and myself align with it, I feel connected, like rooted to this beautiful planet and universe that we live in. And I am God, you're God, the tree's God.
I love it.
We're all made of the same stuff. So really that's when I tell someone, I said when I'm praying and I'm talking to God for guidance or something, I'm essentially talking to myself. And the same, and I think if people try this, like pray to God, ask for something. How good do you feel? Now do the same, do some affirmations. Say, I am great, I am kind, I'm considerate, I am going to succeed. Talk to yourself, see what happens. The same feeling.
Magic happens.
Magic happens. It starts to align, you start to connect with this highest source of consciousness, which is God, and things will start to synchronize and start happening in your life. Then it's up to you, with the sense of free will that we've been given by God, to be receptive enough to the opportunities and situations that come in your way. Because God is love. God wants us to succeed and thrive and evolve. That's what life is. To overcome, to evolve, to succeed, to grow. Everything, nature, that's what we are, nature, that's what it is. So things will come in our way. It's like you put the intention out there, God will give you so much opportunity for you to be receptive enough to see it. That's why we have eyes. Seeing is believing. And but then when you start to do this and you actually see these opportunities, and you're like, oh shit, like, like I'm not alone. I'm really not alone. Like God's got my back. It's like I put the intention out there. The opportunities came. I saw it. I connected with it. I aligned with it. God's got my back, and that gives me such a sense of comfort that wherever I go, I'm not alone. That God's got my back, and as long as I connect in with God regularly in my tough moments or whatever, I know from someone that's been to the lowest of the lows, like we said in the last podcast, that I turn to God. And like people that don't believe, when you've gone every avenue, you turn to God, and God pulls you back out. You know it's real. It's truth. It just is. It's just a feeling. It's a connection that you can't describe other than just feel it, and it's true to me.
Yeah. For me, with that connection, it made me realize that everything that happens in life, whether you judge it as good or bad, is all meant to be. And there's always positives that you can take out of negative, whatever you judge as a negative situation. Like since I've started my healing journey, like self actualization and self discovery, it's just everything I see, everything in the world is beautiful. Like from even to the point of getting rejected or getting told off by somebody, I still see the beauty in that, because it allows myself to reflect and look within myself at how I respond to certain situations. Like, yeah, life is absolutely beautiful. Every single thing that happens, you can always extract some positives and good lessons from everything in your life. And so
Life is
thank you for
for
that
us.
share, man. Eh?
Life's for us. And say, as soon as you switch your mindset to life is for
Yeah.
us, like
Or
say
not
the
happens
difficult
to
moment.
us.
Yeah, the difficult moment. It's for us. It's for us. There's a positive I can take from this. It's for me to grow, to be my best self. And then you start looking at life differently. It's like, oh, I'm accountable. Well, I can do this. Yeah, I can overcome this. I'm strong enough to do this. I can make stars out of this. Like that's what it just grows, and you become such a force. Like, and that's where like wisdom comes from. It's that's where it comes from. It's life experience and using it, turning it into a positive. That's where the wisdom comes from in life.
Oh, the joys. So we're just going to move on to some of the things that we still need to cover, or that we haven't covered yet. Challenges in loving yourself and finding passion. I know we've touched a little bit on this, but yeah, challenges in loving yourself and finding passion.
Well, the challenge in loving yourself is when you're not doing what you're passionate about.
Simple, straightforward.
Yeah, it's like if you're doing more of what you don't like and you don't really love, you're not going to love yourself as much. You're not gonna feel as good. You're not gonna feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like that's quite a simple concept, really. Like if you enjoy something, do it. If you
Mm.
don't enjoy something, unless there's a bigger purpose behind it and a value for the greater good within a community or someone that you love, don't do it, and your life will be exponentially better. Because everybody's got different interests, everyone's got different desires, everyone's got different intentions, everyone's got different motives, imagination, creativity, purpose for what they want from life. Not everybody's got the same. Some people have very aligned values in that and where they want their life to go, and they're the people you want to really connect with because that's what's going to get the best out of you. But if you keep doing other people's life, like I say, everybody's like, it's a book. Life's a book. You write your own chapters. It's like you're the captain of that ship. Like you're setting that course, continue of your life. You're setting that course. Only you. Like if you're going off course onto other people's, you're never going to get to anywhere near the destination where you want to get to. If you keep going off course with other people's course correction they've got for themselves because they're the captain of theirs. So focus on yours, align with the people that match that, support others in theirs, and you will love yourself. You'll love the person that you are.
And also to be to align yourself, with your mind and your body. Whatever you say you're gonna do, at least do it,
Yeah.
and live your truth. Because I find I've been a victim of this myself, where when I'm out in the street in public, I'm putting on this persona. I say I'm this, I'm healthy, but then when I go back home, like opening a beer, smoking weed, and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. So that for me, I wasn't loving myself when I was doing that.
Yeah, that's important. You've got to be it. That's what I say about
You
be it.
gotta embody it.
Yeah, embody who you say you are, who you want to be. That's why I say it comes back to the emotions. Sometimes we will falter on that, but give yourself compassion and grace because we're not perfect. But if you want to be the person you say and you want to show up that way, but then people can control you with your emotions and in certain situations, then you can't be that. But you've got to embody yourself in that moment and be it.
how did you love yourself before you embarked on a journey of healing, self-healing?
So I mean, I don't think I did. Like, I really, again, it was just like I say, I created a persona, a mask, like various ones, and that's what sent me into like depression and stuff, because I knew deep down it wasn't. I didn't love who I was. I didn't love my life. I didn't enjoy it. And
At at
well,
what point, sorry, at what point did you manage to find love for yourself again, from your healing process? At what point can you remember a specific time when you said like, this is it, I found the love for myself again?
I started to put myself first and put what I found enjoyable, even if it was on my own, first.
Mm,
Like, I started to do things that I really enjoyed doing, and a lot of that for me was going in nature
mm,
and connecting with nature and hiking, and I would go on my own. And I was like, do you know what? I love doing this. Like, I love the person I am when I'm doing this. Maybe I should do more of what I actually love and enjoy. Then I can learn to love myself and start working through all these insecurities and lack of self-esteem and
mm,
confidence, because a lot of that comes from because you're in the wrong environments that you don't want to be in, that don't get the best out of you. We're around the wrong people that aren't, they're not the same interests as you, and then they
mm,
are either resentful or put you down. So you either then you start to become that the longer you're in it. So how can you love
yeah,
yourself when you're becoming something you don't want to be? So you got to take yourself away from them two things for a start. You can't heal in the
yeah,
environment, make you sick, or with the people that contributed to it.
no, that's
Just
deep.
doing them two things,
Mm,
remove yourself from the environment, the people. That really switched it for me, and start focusing on making space for me, and then for other people to come in that are more aligned to the values and integrity of who I want to be, and enjoy similar things in life and similar intentions for life. And that's where everything started to shift for me, and it was beautiful. Like, it's the best decision I've ever made in my life. That solitude
mm.
of
But
being.
that's like part of your healing process. I was just also gonna, again, bro, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm cutting you off sometimes, but it's kind of brought me to think of like the word healing. We hear that word healing quite a lot, and it's quite generic. And there's what would you class as healing for yourself? How did you class? What do you do in terms of healing for yourself? Because everybody's healing process is different. Because I've heard lots of people use different things, like walking out in nature. Yes, that is healing in a sense. You're connecting back with nature. But what was your method for self healing?
I would again, like I say, a lot of self-care. Like, I would
Mm,
start doing things that I found enjoyable with people I found enjoyable with, and then if it and stepping out that comfort zone for me was big. Like, doing things on my own, going away on my own. If I didn't have anybody to go with or
mm,
do anything with, and I would start. I made a point of start facing fears. It like taking my power back, facing these fears. That was healing for me. It's like, this is bringing up some kind of fearful emotion for me. Right, I'm going to sit with it. I'm going to face it, confront it, overcome it,
mm.
get the confidence of doing that. That raises my self-esteem, and knowing that can't control me no more. And continuing to do that, that's healing. That's actually the actual
Okay.
essence of healing, is that,
Mm.
in my opinion.
So it's it's like working on your weaknesses. Like if you know you've got weaknesses and you try and avoid them, you just go and work on your weaknesses. I'm kind of relating this to chess. Yeah, I do relate a lot of things to chess, because there's things that we avoid, and the things that we do avoid, we just is a weakness. The reason why we avoid certain things is because we probably don't know how to deal with it. So working on your weaknesses is healing, and it improves and gives you strength. So yeah, sorry, I have to drop that in there.
Yeah, it's like a lot of things I thought of the other day, like something came to me, is like people look for, when they hold themselves back from these things, they're looking for like guarantees moving forward. Well, I want it to look like this. I can't afford to make this mistake. I can't afford to do this. It's like there's no guarantees in anything. The only guarantee is that if you don't do this, you're going to stay right where you are.
Yeah, like you say,
Exactly where you are.
there's no guarantees in everything. Which, if you banking on something to be guaranteed, it's like having an expectation, and having expectations is, it's a recipe for failure as well, for
Yeah,
disaster, mental disaster.
just trust in yourself. Trust, like, because if you're not, you're just going to stay exactly where you are with the same things having a hold on you, because you're looking for this guarantee that something's going to happen in a certain way if you face it and overcome it. But these things might happen that's in your mind 100%, and that's the intention. But unless you face through that fear of these things, it's always going to have a hold on you. So the only guarantee is that if you don't, it will. And that's a choice. You've got to make that choice to step into that unknown. Have faith, have trust in other people, trust in good people, trust in love, trust in light at the other end, because it's there. Trust me, I've been through it enough times. It's there. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to go through that dark tunnel to get to it.
And seek help when you need help.
Yeah. Don't do it on your own. Like, too many people trying to do it on their own. Like, I had a very difficult path with me just because of my dynamics. And the decisions I made for myself, where I did a lot of this on my own. And I'll tell you something, there's a few people in my life that I did have through it, then turned to. And I'm super grateful that I did, because you can't do it on your own. Like, I've seen a psychotherapist for a certain amount of time. Such a blessing to me. I took so much from that. Like, so you need people. You need good people. You need people that's been and done it. You need people that love you, truly love you, and want to help. Be around them, let them. Like, you don't have to do it alone. The majority of everything is done by you, but get the support from other people that want to be there for you, or seek the support of groups or people like us or whatever, and they just want to empower you to have that confidence in yourself that you can do it. Nobody else is better than anybody else. Like, I'm not no better than nobody else. I just learned, had the courage to face things and embark and find my passions, my purpose through my pain, and just follow that. And that's what I still do today. Over and over and over again. Like, I was only other weeks I was having down days. Like, I had a tough week. Like, you know that. I came and spoke to you and was like, but that's how it is. That's the reality of it. But I'm still here today. I'm still doing this podcast today. I'm feeling good about it. I want to talk to people, give what value if anyone resonates and stuff. And I get up, go. I'm going to pursue my goals, because that's who I want to be. That's who I chose to be. Like 3 years ago, that's the person I chose I'm going to be for the rest of my life. It's like, that's what I'm saying, be intentional. Choose who you want to be today. If anyone that's going through shit, choose.
You've got
Be
the choice.
yourself, who you're going to be.
Amazing. There's a lot of strength, courage, and empowerment that comes from having a solid mindset like that. It takes time, it takes practice, and it happens over and over. You've got to do it over and over again. Oh, yeah, this journey of life is just, it's beautiful in so many
Season.
ways, bro. It's the seasons. Yes, we have ups, we have downs, but each and every fucking moment I find is so beautiful. There's a thing that when I'm feeling down, I should reach out and talk to people a lot more. But to be honest, I just ride the waves by myself. Well, say by myself. If I'm feeling like really low, I don't fight it. I recognize that yes, I'm feeling low. The more you resist, the more it persists. So I don't try and fight it. I don't try and resist it. It's like when taking psychedelics, they say you'll have a bad trip if you try and resist. If you resist, you have to accept and learn to let go. So that's how I've been dealing with my own stuff. Just ride the waves. Ride the waves. Do lots of breath work, talking to myself in a positive way. Sometimes it can be negative, but it's okay. It's okay to be negative sometimes. It's just as long as it's not dominating your thoughts.
We have loads of stupid thoughts, by the way.
Pardon?
We have
You have
loads
what
of
you have?
stupid, we have loads of stupid thoughts. Like, don't believe every thought that comes into your mind. And sometimes you got to
Mm,
say, just shut the fuck up. Like,
mm,
let me tell your thoughts, just shut the fuck up. Especially when you know deep down it's trying to direct you out and sabotage you, or it's coming from a place of insecurity, fear. When you become a little bit more self-aware within yourself, and that you can notice this at the time. And it was like, but it's so overwhelming because your ego trying to protect you, and that's not a bad thing. It's just because it's
mm,
done that for like to get you through certain situations. So it's doing its job, but it's not elevating you no more. It's not helping you thrive, the person you actually want to be, and you are. So sometimes you got to say,
mm.
listen, just shut the fuck up, like, and it works. It's like say, Julio, shut the fuck up, and like, and then think of something positive. Go and play your guitar, and that thought will go away, and you can actually center yourself to the actual essence of what you're trying to be and what you want. It's not easy because you can get in a rut sometimes, but sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah, I had a. It's so strange, but I actually got fucking angry the other day. Right? In fact, it was 2 days ago, and I know why I got angry. It was crazy. It was a nice. It's liberating to know that I have that level of self awareness and I can catch it before I make it worse by reacting in a way that I can't take anything back. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I woke up in the morning. First thing I did when I opened my eyes was I started playing chess. And I played so many like 2 minute games really quick. And I decided, let me play a 10-minute game. And my rating for my 10-minute games was so fucking high. And then I lost like 100 points and I felt this anger like, what the fuck? In fact, I felt a frustration. It wasn't an anger yet. I felt frustrated. And then on top of that, but after I played chess, a mate of mine texted me talking shit, and that just threw me off the edge. I was ready to respond, like so angrily to him, and then I noticed like he hasn't done anything to me. This is my fucking shit, and I know where it came from, and I realized it's the frustration from the chess, and just because he's come at me with the way he did. But instead of sending him a message, which I was actually going to cuss him out and talk absolute shit to him, I actually stopped myself from sending it, and I phoned him. I called him, and I wasn't angry. In fact, he was actually softly spoken. He was making jokes, and I just thought, what the fuck? I could have just made this whole situation worse. I could have been projecting my anger, my hate towards him, which is not. It's not a nice thing. I found out through my own experience that when you have hate or aggression or anger towards anybody, you're not hurting the other person. You're hurting yourself in so many ways. So I was so happy that I could catch that, and with that level of self-awareness to catch that before I made any situations worse. And then you know what? After I accepted that situation and realigned myself, you know, the rest of the day was absolutely beautiful. Everything just fell into place, and getting angry just is horrible. It's
You
so
pause,
fucking horrible.
like I was saying, you pause, and it's like in that moment, it's like that's when you, and after it, you feel elated. It's like, yeah, God got me. God's got me because it gave me that self
Mm.
control through the lessons I've learned through that connection. Like, yeah, man, I did it. Like, I did it. Like, yeah, I did it. And that's really, so that's where you get your self confidence from.
Liberating, yeah, self-confidence and you know your self-worth, your value, and you know your capabilities as well, you know,
You do.
which is amazing, which is absolutely amazing. Sean, I don't think I've got any more other questions from anyone. In fact, I do, but you did cover it because the question was, what's your religion?
Right. I haven't got one.
And you did cover it in the answer when I asked you what your thoughts or belief in God is. So before I wrap this up, Sean, just making sure that we've covered. Yeah, we have covered everything that was missed from the previous podcast. Oh yes, it's all done and dusted, bruv.
Oh, I just want to chat. I'm going to tell people where to find me if they want to link up with me. Like, because what I do, and I want to help people. That's my passion. And I use, like, say, I use various methods to do that with the breath work and the massage and the nutrition, the mindset and stuff. So if anyone's
Sell yourself. Sell yourself. The
anyone's
stage is yours.
interested in learning a bit more of how that works and and hopefully I can get to help you in that if you're been feeling a bit stuck or in life and you just want to become healthy in mind, body, spirit. I put my business together because I believe we should all look at the body as one system, not just one thing, singular thing. And that's what I try to do to give people I see the best value I can. So if you want to find me, it's Sean_Kowa on Instagram. Drop me a message, have a chat, and see if it interests you, and we can link up and see what we can do. So I'll be happy to help. Be blessed to have you on board. Or you can drop me a message on my phone, 07905 88309. Get in touch with me there. My company's Precure Health and Wellness. Julio's going to get a hoodie soon because I'm going to be sponsoring him for his podcast. So yeah, if you feel like you resonate with anything that I say, like I say, I'm no different to really nobody else. It's just I'm very passionate about this, what I call purpose in my life, to like help people evolve and overcome the fear so they can be the best versions of them. So they can do the same for other people in whatever unique, gifted ways that they've got. So if you feel like you want to try and tap in, find out what that is, hit me up and see what we can do and can work together, and I'll be blessed. I'll be very grateful. So thanks for listening. And Julio's doing great with the podcast. Still very new to this and doing great. And I've obviously got people engaging, which is awesome. So keep supporting him. And tell your friends, tell the people who see about it to listen to it, especially if you got value from this one. Listen to more. Come on to the podcast yourself if you feel like you resonate with some kind of journey, and that's how we can evolve the community. So keep supporting him, support yourself, the things you believe in, and life's good.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, Sean. Inspire to be inspired. I think I'm gonna have that as a slogan for the Search for Meaning podcast. Inspire to be inspired, because it's an exchange. What we do, we're actually in service. We've helped ourselves to be able to help others. So now we're in service to people. So the exchange, we're giving and we're also receiving, and it's
Yeah.
a healthy exchange. Do you know what I mean? We're giving something good. We're giving back the goodness. We're giving back the fucking goodness.
No competition. That's what
Yeah,
it
no
is.
competition.
Giving with no
That's the
competition.
main one. That's the main one. No competition. obviously there is competition in life, but in order to grow and develop as a person yourself, we don't need to be in competition with each other. We just need to help each other out.
True story.
Brotherhood, sisterhood. I know before I dropped, as I mentioned, like the space that we want to create for men. I obviously wanted to do it for women as well, but I don't think I'm qualified to do that for women. But I do know a very qualified lady who, she's a self-love coach. I've sent her details to you, so maybe when I get on the podcast next, we can do something for women with her. But we just need to help ourselves so that we can show up for ourselves and show up for our women and show up for everyone in the world, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that is right.
That is right.
All right tonight.
All right, that's amazing. Anyway, we're gonna leave it there, and I definitely will have you back on the podcast. Definitely in the near future, once we get other things going, we'll be able to come back and reflect on the journey.
You shall
And
see me again.
the saga continues. The journey continues, bro.
That's right.
Peace and love.